Good evening, grave robbers, and welcome back to the television graveyard. We are your TV necromancers, Laura Prince and Noah Houlihan. We have come here tonight to examine the spirits of past television shows, to find out which ones could be resurrected, should be resurrected, and which ones should just stay doomed. This is a podcast in which we will analyze the history, the hype, and the aftermath of shows that ran only one season. Or, like this one, only one episode. With me, as always, is TV's Noah Houlihan.
If you don't eat right, it's fiber light.
Yes, this is, Mabel and Max from 1987.
Yes, Mabel and Max. This is a one-episode wonder that was part of that Summer Playhouse series, right?
Yes. Like Puppet Man.
Like Puppet Man, and something else we did.
Summer Playhouse was Puppet Man and In the Lion's Den.
Yes. So this one is the first Summer Playhouse without puppets.
But still about show business.
Still about show business.
Would you believe that not all of these are about show business?
No, I wouldn't. Based off of the data that we have, I wouldn't believe that.
Well, this one was kind of, about show business, just there's no puppets, I'm sorry. Fresh out of puppets.
So let's get into Mabel and Max.
Yes, we are almost on the 37th anniversary of the airing of this.
Oh.
It aired July 31st, 1987.
Yeah, we tried to, we did that on purpose. We're good at stuff. Yeah. Applaud.
I mean, if we were really good at it, we would be putting this out next week.
No. We're really good at stuff.
Okay.
So, Max and Mabel are roommates.
Yes.
Max is a young actress.
Yes.
And Mabel is a veteran actress.
Mabel Overdeen. She is a Broadway star that is, for the first time, struggling to find work.
Yes. So, we start with Max's death.
Yes.
Max dies in Mabel's arms, and then, big reveal, they're rehearsing.
Well, she goes, "You were so thoughtful, so generous," and makes a dying noise.
Yes, and Mabel goes,
Max, I'm dead. You're not dead. You have 3 more lines.
You kidding? I'm not even going to make it that far in the audition today. Oh.
There's also the weird semi-maudlin theme song that's just before this.
Oh, yeah.
Because the theme song is first. There's not really a cold opening.
Yes.
It's like semi-maudlin?
Yeah, it does. It's like for the show.
Yeah, it's bespoke. Mabel and Max.
No one's ever seen the likes of Mabel and Max. What a pair we are. Have so much fun taking on the world as one.
Our best friends and are living in New York.
Half dog, half ghost.
We reference Macduff far too often.
I'm not sorry.
We got to stop making so many intertextual references with this show because not everyone has listened to every episode. Anyway, so she's off to an audition. We never say what it is, so I'm going to assume Weatherman. She's probably auditioning for Weatherman.
Yeah, but at least she's in New York, which is a real market.
Which is a place where this could happen. Okay. Watch. If you don't understand what I'm talking about, listen to every episode of our show. Max heads off to do her audition. But
for a play, we don't really know much about it.
Yeah, we don't get any actual details of what it is. And then her agent, Harry shows up.
Oh, first, Max does consider skipping the audition.
Yes, because she's afraid.
And Mabel gives her a whole speech.
Yes.
This is important because this is really what kicks off the plot.
Yes, I should have mentioned this.
So, Mabel kind of gives her this, half guilt trip, half, older relative shit talk, pep talk. Mm-hmm. And Max is like, "You're right. You're so thoughtful. You're so generous." And pieces out.
Yes.
And that's when the agent turns up. Harry, he's been trying to get her roles.
Yes.
As an agent is wont to do.
And he's talking about how they're struggling because parts for a mature actress are hard to come by. And I was looking for it, but I remember in one of my like comedy like workshop books that I bought on how to do stand-up comedy, there's a quote in there. I forget who it is from. It may have been Joan Rivers, but the whole point is it was said earnestly. And the quote is, it's hard for older actresses to get work because their parts dry up. And it was just like the comedy of like an accidental faux pas. So hearing that line in this reminded me of that faux pas. Though I can't find it online. I don't know who said it.
I mean, if Joan Rivers said it, it wasn't said in earnest. If Joan Rivers said it, she knew exactly what she was
doing, yeah.
Because Joan Rivers did not make innocent mistakes like that.
No.
Joan Rivers thought that through. That was the whole plan. I love Joan Rivers.
Me too.
So, Harry tries to find her, like, a role where she's DOA in a soap opera. And he's like, there was hope that you'd come back to life. You were breathing.
Yes. But Harry has the role of a lifetime for her this time.
Who else is in it?
Oh, no one.
It's a one-woman show?
A one-woman show. And before the punchline, I started writing down, it's a commercial. It's a commercial.
Oh, it was very clearly going to be a commercial.
Yes. It is a commercial for Fiber Light.
The laxative?
It's not a laxative. It's just fiber.
Well, she says the laxative.
Yes.
It sounds like it's like a Metamucil type thing. And something I want to explain, because Metamucil and fiber supplements are actually not age limited the way they were kind of then. Like, they were for old people back then.
Yes.
Now, like, protein and fiber are not gatekept the same way.
Yeah.
Like, a lot of people take fiber supplements. Hank Green was out there talking about how, like, everybody should take them. They reduce the risk of colon cancer.
Yeah.
So, I thought it was very interesting because it's something that's meant to obviously be embarrassing and for old people. I think a good comparison is the Activia yogurt commercials Jamie Lee Curtis was doing for the longest time.
Right.
Like, that's what this reminds me of.
Yeah, exactly that, actually, yeah.
Activia!
So,
Max and Harry sing the Fiber Light theme song at her.
Yes, to kind of, like, convince her it's a good idea, but she doesn't want to do a commercial. She's an actress.
Max comes back and she said she didn't get the part, but she got this new actors newsletter.
Yes.
They're casting a low-budget movie in our neighborhood, in our building. Women only. No experience necessary.
Yes, it is clearly a pornographic film. And it was interesting that they were just clearly saying that on what would be a network TV sitcom.
What I liked about it is it was a very oblique reference in that, like, a little kid wouldn't have gotten it. And it's alluded to as the activities in apartment 3C.
Yes. And they make some callbacks to it as well.
They do.
It's like a very adult joke for this wholesome show.
But the funny thing is, Max is not in on it.
Yeah, Max doesn't even get
because Mabel goes, no. You're too short.
Yes.
Because she doesn't want, as an older actor, she doesn't want a young actress going through something she may have gone through.
Yeah, being exposed to things like that.
And then Mabel's son is coming to dinner, Paul.
Yes, this is very interesting. Paul, when Paul arrives, Max gets the door.
Yes.
And opens the door, and her son is exhausted in the door frame.
Yeah.
But there's this very interesting scene where it is shot where the camera is shooting out the door. So you see him standing in the hallway. And then next to the door, suspended on the wall, is like a giant handheld mirror. It was like a mirror with a handle. So you could see Max. It was a very unique shot that I can't think I've seen on, like, in a sitcom before.
And our TV fan viewers, this was an early role for Tony Goldwyn.
Who's Tony Goldwyn?
So he's probably best known for playing President Fitz Grant on Scandal.
Oh, okay.
That's probably what I think he'd be best known for. But he's been working steadily. He was in Oppenheimer. He was in Belko Experiment, a film you liked.
Yeah, I liked it. It's not great.
I didn't say it was one of your favorites.
It's not great.
He was in one of the Divergent movies. So he's been working steadily since this show.
Interesting.
He was also the voice of Tarzan in Kingdom Hearts.
Well, all right then.
Yeah. And in regular Tarzan.
Oh, well, all right then.
Yeah, I kind of thought they had to, if you asked me until 5 seconds ago who the voice of Tarzan was, you know what I probably would have said? Phil Collins.
Phil Collins?
I've never actually seen Tarzan.
I wanna know. Can you show me? The music's really good. I've never seen the film.
Same.
But I've listened to the soundtrack because it's really good.
Honestly, big same. I love the music in Tarzan.
Anyway.
We digress.
Anyway, that shot was cool. To get back to what I was saying.
It's a really cool shot for a sitcom that doesn't need to work this hard.
It's a very unique way to have both characters, facing camera.
Yes.
Because when you have two conversation, characters face one another.
Yeah.
So this was just an interesting way around it so you could see their faces. It was just very interesting.
And he has come to have the New Jersey conversation.
Yes, this is where the show loses me. Her son has come to tell her that she can't be living in this building. The elevator's always broken. You got to go up 12 flights of stairs to get to the apartment.
Actually, it was 7.
It's not really relevant to the thing I'm saying.
I wanted to say actually. I never get to actually.
And retire with her sister in New Jersey, because he can't be in this building.
And I thought it was funny, because he wants her to retire down to Princeton.
Yes.
So I'm like, so they're loaded.
Yeah.
Because Princeton, most people have heard of because of the incredibly prestigious university there. What do prestigious universities tend to have a lot of?
Monies.
Yeah, so you think a college town that sprung up around a prestigious university would have money?
Yeah.
Yeah, you're right. Lots. So he wants her to retire down to Princeton, and she treats it like Shady Oaks, ma.
Yeah, this is one of the many times throughout the series where they talk the idea of moving to New Jersey is the worst thing that can happen. And you know what, Mabel? We don't need you down here, all right? We'll keep our good pizza to ourselves, and you can stay up in New York.
You don't talk like that.
No, I'm making fun of her accent. I was making fun of New Yorkers because I'm a New Jerseyan. Where the pizza's good.
They've had the conversation so many times, Mabel is openly mouthing the words behind her son's back.
Which I found very funny just from an actor point of view. Because to me, there's nothing more frustrating than somebody mouthing words while you're giving a speech. Because I've seen shows where I've caught actors doing that and it drives me crazy. Mm-hmm. So the fact that this is all actory and that's the thing that she's doing to bother him, I thought was that's a good character beat.
I recently watched a TikTok of a gymnastics routine, and it's so distracting because one of the girls in the background is marking the choreography.
Oh, yeah?
And I'm like, it's so distracting. Mm-hmm. And I don't think the girl realizes she's caught on camera because she's on the sidelines, but it's so distracting.
Yeah.
And we've all seen the school play where someone in the ensemble is visibly mouthing along.
I went and saw a show for the American College Theater Festival. It was a Shakespeare show. And there was a girl doing that. And you could hear the audience, who is all full of theater kids. You could hear when people saw it. Because we would just be sitting there and all of a sudden someone would go, meh. And then you would just kind of hear it circle around as they were she's mouthing all the words. She's mouthing all the words. Oh, yeah.
Oh, I cringed so hard I may have actually tweaked something. Oh, gosh.
In any case, basically the bet is put forward that she says that she has to stay in New York because she's an actress. He counters with, well, you're not working. And she says, all right, I'll get a job. And he says, all right, you have 1 week. If you can't get a job in a week, you have to move to Princeton, New Jersey. The hellscape of Princeton, New Jersey.
Which, like, something I wanted to point out, because it's something that I thought of, like, about a day after we watched this. Do you know what Princeton has? A fairly prestigious theater.
Yeah! Like a place where you could go act? Absolutely.
Like, if she's a Broadway grande dame, she could just have gone and essentially looked around the McCarter and been like, well, mine now.
So, with the bet on, it is time to get serious.
I'm so tired.
I know.
Can't believe it's so hard to find work in this town.
Tell me about it.
Yes, but you're young. You're supposed to suffer. I'm old. I'm supposed to say stupid things like that.
Come on, Mabel. It's only been 2 days.
I've been to every casting director, every off-Broadway theater. I even checked out apartment 3C next door. They said I was too tall.
Yes.
Because she had said that Mabel was too short.
Right.
So it was very... And they're not dissimilar in height, so it was a good bit.
It's a good bit.
So Mabel goes to the audition.
Yes. She is in there with a bunch of older women, like in the waiting room.
Mabel looks by far the youngest.
Yes. And there's a lot of, like, old woman jokes in this. Like, one of the girls comes out of the audition.
Thanks. We'll get back to you.
When? I'm 90. I have to make plans.
Which is a great sassy.
Basically, she's conflicted about whether or not she wants to lower herself to do a commercial. And when it's her time to do it, she tries to run away.
No, the way I see it, that door leads to Fiberlight. And that door leads to New Jersey.
Where's Monty Hall when you really need him?
Which is a reference to Let's Make a Deal, which was a very famous game show that is currently still on the air, being hosted by Wayne Brady. But Monty Hall was basically a show, or Let's Make a Deal rather, where you were often presented, like, do you want the prize behind door number 1 or door number 2? And behind one is a car and the other is a zonk. And you could win like a goat.
This is also the crux of a very funny Brooklyn Nine-Nine episode.
Oh, the Monty Hall problem.
Yes.
Which, if you're going to bring that up, is a thing we still disagree about.
Yes, probably.
Okay? Here's the simple problem. It's very simple. There are 3 doors.
Yeah.
Behind one door is a car.
Okay.
Behind 2 of the other doors is a goat. Okay? You select one of the doors. Like, let's say you pick door number 1. Mm-hmm. The host then opens up door number 2 and reveals that it's a goat. And then asks you, do you want to switch? Mathematically, you should always switch. Right, Laura?
I don't care. I want the goat.
See, we fundamentally disagree on this problem.
I'd name him Billy.
Well, then you would just switch to the door that's open that has the goat and guarantee your goat.
Yeah, I guess
So you would switch doors.
I guess you're right, because I want the goat.
I am right. Laura said it in the microphone. It has been recorded.
Oh. This is gonna be like that I Quit match.
Yes. Yes, it is.
Yeah. Wrestling trivia. I know things.
In any case, if you have a different opinion about the Monty Hall problem, don't leave it in the comments because you're wrong. Moving on.
So, We then smash back to the apartment after she goes into the audition.
Yes. We don't get to actually see her audition.
Yeah, we did miss a little part of the receptionist talks about how much her father loved Mabel.
Oh, yes. Like, she's like, her father's a big fan, and she's like, let me get your autograph. Oh, my God, you were so good in this, and this.
And it establishes that, like, Mabel was a big deal, which I think is an important thing to register.
Yeah, we needed to see that outside of her apartment, that she is a big deal.
But that was really all that was important about that.
Yes.
So we get to that night, and Harry and Max are super irritated.
Yes.
Like, because Max comes in, and the bet expires the next day about Mabel having to get a job, and Max comes in and Mabel is playing cards.
She's playing poker with a bunch of characters we've never seen before.
And also Harry.
And we will never see them again, because this is the only episode. But there's a few things I want to mention here.
Okay.
One, she blows the audition. Like, it's not like she failed. She refused to read it because it was trash, according to her. She couldn't, it was like unbelievable drivel. Two,
and it was dishonest.
And it was dishonest, yes. Two, she mentions...
She's come a long way since she arrived in New York. When she first showed up at my acting classes 2 months ago, she was so naive, so green, so young. But now she's...
Aged a good 60 days.
She had a job. She was teaching acting classes.
Yeah, I noticed that as well.
Wait a minute. That's a plot hole. We got him.
In a 25-minute episode. There's also a nice moment where Mabel begs Harry to help find Max a job.
Yes.
Not her, Max.
Yes.
Mabel is super, super angry. Like, she comes in, she's like, she comes in holding all these, like, trade magazines.
Max is super angry.
Yes.
Yes.
Max has been trying to find Mabel a job. She comes in with Variety and Spotlight and all of these magazines. And she's like, I've been trying to find you a job and you haven't been doing anything. And Mabel says, no one's casting at midnight. Except for maybe apartment 3C.
Or Taylor Tomlinson.
That's after midnight.
Yeah. Well, they got to get the casting done first.
Fair. But they make another joke about the porn.
Yes,
casting.
exactly.
So, Max, in full mature fashion, runs to her room crying.
So I don't like any of this.
Yeah.
She's like all upset, and like she kind of mentions like she's going to be homeless now. And I was like, wait, that shouldn't be the emotional center to this. Is like, you didn't get a job, so now I can't live here anymore. Like, what? Well, no, it should be about like her journey and like not how she sustained you. But okay. Also, the whole stakes of this episode is this bet that was made between Mabel and her son.
Right.
But the whole crux of the bet is the New Jersey conversation that we've heard 100 times to the point that she can mouth it.
Right.
Why do we believe she's going to hold up her end of the bet this time?
We don't. We have no reason.
So why are the stakes high?
He also has no power over her.
Yes, I was like, she can do whatever she didn't sign a contract. It's not a reality show. Her son can be like, did you get a job? No. Well, then you moving to New Jersey? No. Get out of here. I'm my own woman.
Yeah, and this implies like she had... We don't know anything about her financials. She's clearly not doing great, because it's not a great apartment. It's probably very rent-controlled.
It's got 2 bedrooms in it in New York. I'm sure it was pretty expensive.
And but probably also quite rent-controlled.
Yes. Also had that real fancy mirror, so she's probably doing all right.
So she's probably doing okay, but not great. And unlike TV or film, she doesn't have like residuals to live on. So she's kind of living off savings, so it's probably important for her to work.
Right.
But she was a big enough Broadway star that she really didn't have to audition. And she talks about how she really hasn't had to audition since the 50s. when she first made it.
And it basically boils down to the same way that Max is afraid of rejection, Mabel is afraid of rejection, because she also has the weight of not being as great as Mabel is supposed to be.
Because she did have a heart attack a year prior.
Yes, they throw that in there as well.
Like, that's supposed to be the catalyst for when things started going poorly. Like, that maybe she couldn't hold up to 8 shows a week.
Mm-hmm.
And, like, looking at Broadway, if you have that kind of name, I'm thinking she's probably comparable to, like, a Bernadette Peters.
Yeah.
Or a, I'm just trying to think of, like, a Patti LuPone, perhaps. These, like, grand ladies of the theater.
Yes.
They kind of get to do whatever they want.
Yeah, exactly.
So, they have a heart-to-heart about being afraid to audition, and Paul comes in to try to talk to his mom. And then there's a cheap New Jersey joke that I didn't write down the joke.
Work or no work, Mom, I seriously want you to come to your senses and think about moving to New Jersey.
No one who comes to their senses would ever move to New Jersey.
Oh, is that true? Oh, is that true, Henry? Oh, really? There's no one who's smart in New Jersey. You know what? I don't care for this show.
The next day we find out she has done the ad.
Yeah, then it turns out she did the commercial.
And everyone's happy except her son.
It's so weird. There's a moment where it cuts to like a going to commercial card of like, Max and Mabel will be back after these messages.
Yes.
Then it comes back and it's literally just, I'm so glad you did the commercial. And then they watch the commercial and they're like, oh, you did the commercial. And then it ends. Like the moment they come back from the commercial, there's only like a minute left of show.
Yeah.
Like, I'd be upset if I sat through the commercial just for that.
I feel like that used to be kind of common. Though, like, right before the end of the show commercial.
Yeah, I think that was more common in the 80s because what would happen is there'd be a commercial, there'd be like a small stinger, and then the credits would actually play. They would take up the full screen, and you would watch the credits. They wouldn't be shoved to the right-hand side of the screen while the stinger played. Or in some cases, a commercial for whatever is coming up next on TGIF is playing.
Yeah.
Yeah. There's a little TV history for you.
That's so cool. I love TV history. So that's Max and Mabel.
Yeah, that was the whole show. It's pretty short, and it's fine.
Yeah, it's very cute. It's definitely a show that could have had room to grow into itself and find its groove.
Yeah.
Like maybe Max finds a bit of success and Mabel's upset. Or Mabel finds some more success and then Max kind of tries to, coattail.
Yes, I think I'm not a big fan of the, actors TV show.
Yeah.
I feel like because you're in Hollywood, that's the thing that's on your mind, so that's the show that you create. But it's rarely, accessible to the common man, the struggles of the actor. So, we've watched a lot of them at this point. We've watched Puppet Man, we watched Blit Happens, we watched
In the Lion's Den. Scorch.
Scorch as well, yeah. And, there is this barrier between the audience and the characters where the one thing that never comes up is, well, why don't you just get a regular jet? Why don't you just do that? And, interestingly enough, I feel like that's a thing I don't see in these shows.
Is the survival job?
I'm also working at, a coffee shop from midnight to 6 a.m. to pay the bills while I'm an actor.
Which is so strange, because that's often a really interesting piece.
Yeah.
Of what it's like to be a young actor, is that, this is how I struggle. And, like, I do think that is a piece that is missing.
Yes, I think that would make this more accessible if it had those moments. Other than that, though, I think it's a decent show. I think it's slick. I think it's enjoyable. I think the relationship of an older woman and, like, kind of the young woman taken under her wing is not, like, a relationship that we see explored on television very much.
No, and they established pretty early that it's not competitive, which I really enjoyed.
Yeah, like, when it comes to this type of relationship, the only other one I could really think of was Doc and Marty.
Yes.
It's just like, yeah, there's a significant age gap, and, like, the older of the pair brings wisdom, and the younger brings, like, rambunctious energy. And, like, they're kind of an odd couple, but they fit together. Like, that's not something you see much. But it's nice. It was nice to see.
Yeah.
I don't see this as a show that I would, like, want to watch every episode of. This is not something that, like, I wouldn't find this appointment television. I wouldn't find this to be, like, a Netflix binge. But, like, if it was on syndication and, like, it's like, yeah, it's on at, noon and nothing else is on, yeah, I'd leave this on. It's fine. It's a fine show.
I would say this is a stay tuned, because this is such a... I could see this being a comfort TV show type of show. If that makes sense. Like, I could see this finding its groove and getting that, like, The Nanny, like, I could totally see this becoming cozy TV.
Yes.
And would it be the sitcom of its day? No. Would I watch 2 hours of it on a random Thursday in July, home from college on summer break on Freeform? Yes.
Yes, yeah. Like, it definitely meets that criteria. It's going to be a stay tuned from me as well. That being said, we've watched this. We watched In the Lion's Den, and we've watched Puppet Man. Let's do a little Playhouse rank 'em.
Okay.
Where would you? How would you rank these?
Mabel and Max at the top.
Really?
It was the most enjoyable of the three. It's the one I could see making it. Then In the Lion's Den. And my God, Puppet Man was weird.
Puppet Man is too weird. Puppet Man is definitely too weird for me, and it's at the bottom for me. I think I would put In the Lion's Den above Max and Mabel.
Yeah?
And this is not really my personal enjoyment, but, like, if I had to bet on one of these shows, like, if I could only greenlight one of these, I think I would greenlight In the Lion's Den, because the actor's kind of the antagonist of it, and that wall between, like, I don't understand a struggling actor's plight,
Yeah.
is beneficial to an antagonist, because, like, we can have that thought of, like, why don't you just calm down? Why don't you just be reasonable? Oh, he's an unreasonable actor. But with Mabel, when it's like, hey, just move to New Jersey, Princeton's nice, I've been there, they have nice ice cream, is less of an accessible argument and a wanted feeling for your audience to have. So if I were to greenlight one of the three from the Playhouse, I think I'd greenlight Lion's Den ahead of this.
I think I would greenlight this ahead of Lion's Den personally.
I mean, I could definitely be swayed. I'm just, like, looking at it as an executive. I'd be like, probably go with that one.
I think this would be something that would appeal more to women.
Yes.
And depending on what the rest of the season and what the rest of my lineup looked like, this seems to fill a hole a little more if you had a very male-dominated season.
Yeah, this is definitely very cozy, while In the Lion's Den was more rapid jokes. So it was a little bit, like, wittier and quicker, but this one had more cozy hugs and learning. So, different tastes for different flavors of television. So that's going to do it for Mabel and Max.
Yes.
If you haven't joined the Discord, do so. Danish Guy Reviews is there, along with Laura and I. We talk about the show, and we also talk about all of our other projects. So jump in the Discord and say hi. And other things. You don't have to just say hi. Where can people find us?
You can email us at staydoomshow@gmail.com or on Facebook and Twitter at Stay Doomed.
And if you have the correct opinion about the Monty Hall problem, I'm at +2 Comedy on Twitter and TV's Noah on Instagram.
If you want to hang out with goats, I'm at Priorities on Twitter and Glitter and Glow Tape on Instagram. Until next time, stay doomed.